Good evening. Thank you for being here. This is our reel-to-reel community screening. It is a foster youth inspired, driven platform co-founded by Jeanne Rivers, my mentee, and myself, Sid Stewart. I'm the executive director of Better Youth. We are a organization, a creative youth development organization, and we validate young people by developing life skills through mentoring and media arts training. I'm not going to be up here long. I just want to thank our partners. And specifically, I want to thank Monique Coleman, who is in this movie. She plays the hairdresser, but she's also a beloved mentor of ours, and she was the catalyst behind this screening in terms of, yes. She linked us up. She said, you got to do this. We went by her apartment, and she said, you got to do this. And so we linked up with Lifetime, and we really want to thank you guys, Christine and your staff, for really the amazing spread and just, all the work we did in putting this together. We want to thank Los Angeles Film School. We have a residency here. This is our 5th year. They have supported us from day one, and we just want to thank them. We also want to thank Casa LA, who are here in numbers. We recently linked up with them with a community partnership, and we're really excited to do some things for the young people there. We also want to thank DCFS for bringing youth here today and jumping on our panel. Thank you so much, Olivier. She's one of our social workers and a student of ours who graduated last summer, referred her to us, and we're developing these wonderful relationships. And to the talent, Ms. Fairley, who is here, you guys are really going to enjoy this film. And to Seneca Family Centers, we want to thank you for being here. And Right Way Foundation is another community partner that we work tirelessly with. And Andrea is here. She's a social worker. She's a therapist to most of our youth. And I just want to acknowledge, our staff, our young people that put this program together. They work tirelessly. They show up. They set up the step and repeat, they set up the lights, and we are a training program in motion. Some of our mentors are here, our staff. We have Miguel Coleman, our creative director, Sean Jackson, director of operations and innovation, Jeanne Rivers, our newly hired program manager. She's in a trainee program. She is transitioning from program coordinator, and we have an intern, Miss Latrice Ventura, who is also a program graduate. We have Dietrich Foley, our photographer, our staff photographer, and some of our youth that are sitting on the panel that have come through our program. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Sean and Jeanne.
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for being here. Like I told some of you guys, I'll tell everybody, I'm just in a place of gratitude to be able to screen a film that demonstrates such truth about the system that I come from. And so I'm so honored to be able to partner with Lifetime and be able to share this movie with y'all so y'all can see what we go through as foster youth and how we're always shut down and told that we don't know what's best for us. And so without further ado, I'm going to get us to Sean. Again, thank you guys. I grew up in foster care. I came from foster care. I aged out at 21. Sid was there for me at 14, which is how we co-founded the festival. And so, again, I'm humbled. I'm so deeply grateful for everybody that's here and for you guys to be able to experience such a powerful film. And thank you for Lifetime for giving us the opportunity and partnering with us and trusting us to be able to do this. And so, yeah, thank you.
All right. I'm not going to make your hands get any tired than they already are from all the clapping, but it's a joyous occasion, and we should be grateful. We should be excited to be celebrating today. I'm going to introduce our host for the panel, and just want to share with you that we're going to be hopefully dialoguing around 8 themes that we've identified that emerge not only from the film, but just from this space, from youth and care, things that are really important to this community. So without further ado, and we've been talking about it, briefly before we got started. Ken and Andrea, Joshua, Livia, and Autumn, and Angela. We kind of were sharing about how you can a mantra. You're born to your family. You're born to your relatives, but you choose your family. And so just really want you to kind of meditate on that and on some of the themes that are brought up. And feel free, we're going to have a mic going around. Feel free to engage. The idea is that if you have experiences that you can share, if you hear something that inspires you and moves you, one of the true pieces that we try to teach youth in care is self-advocacy, probably one of the most important things. And so, definitely let's exemplify that today. Let's advocate for these themes and these ideas. Without further ado, Latrice is going to guide us through this, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, so I just want to start off by saying we're all here to be open and just share an open discussion that's out of love and just healthy conversation, first and foremost. Some of our themes today is positive influences, perseverance, community empowerment, telling your narrative, voice, inspiration. And I'm going to start off with Joshua. My question to you is, what effect will having a positive role model have on your life, whether it's a mentor, a family member, or foster parent?
Well, hey everybody, my name's Josh. I grew up in the Detroit foster care system, so I'm not really familiar with California, but I will say, based on the question, for me, the mentors that were in my life were my social workers. They really put effort into my case and really were there for me for everything. They were the ones who went to my school graduation. They were the ones who celebrated my birthdays with me. They talked to me through my hard times, and I think that for me, really having that positive role model in my life was able to push me to where I am now. So I moved across country by myself at 18. They didn't fully support me at first, but they now do support me, and they're very there. And I think it's important for those who've been in the system as well to be role models for those who are currently in the system. And that's why when I moved out to Los Angeles in the entertainment industry, I'm also an actor, I didn't want to just be someone who was just in films and doing all the Hollywood lifestyle. I wanted to be somebody with a voice that also could be that positive role model for young kids growing up in the system. And so that's why I founded my nonprofit, The Foster Bunch, and it's a nonprofit of former foster youth who are also entertainers coming together to change the narrative about foster care. And so it's really important to be there in the next generation and giving back and having that mentorship and being able to really just change the minds of everyone, because foster care isn't just a niche, it's a problem or a societal community issue. I think a lot of people think of it, oh, that's foster care, it's separate from me, but really it's part of everybody. And so I really think that mentorship, anybody could be a mentor really to someone who's in foster care, I think.
I agree. Do you have a question that you would like to pose to the audience about positive influences and mentorship?
How many, I guess I would ask maybe how many of people in the audience know somebody who's in foster care or mentor somebody who's in foster care? Thank you.
Would anybody like to stand up and kind of speak and give us your feedback on the same question he had? Or just give us an example of a mentor and what kind of impact they had on your life? No? We got a mic coming to you right now. If you can introduce your name and then go from there.
Of course. My name's Ian Harrell. Hello, everyone. More or less, I had the opportunity to meet a gentleman by the name of Drew. I'll just go by first names. And he was someone who, he changed my life completely for the fact that I had a lot more than him. And I was always careful in how I approached myself with him. But I didn't have to be, because he showed me that by just giving and being open, you're actually able to make a huge impact. And so what I found was by me being open and giving another gentleman an opportunity, it led to another gentleman having an opportunity. And it was amazing how it just kind of snowballed. So the gentleman sitting to my left, Marvin. Hey, everyone. He's the reason why I'm here. And we're hoping to do something together that will continue to make that snowball become bigger. So
That's beautiful. It truly is. And that brings me, I like what you said because it brings up the next theme, which is perseverance. And that's a question Andrea has.
Yes. Would you like me to pose a question?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess this is kind of for two sets of people. I'd like to kind of know what it means to persevere, but I'd like to get a perspective from a young person who's been in care, and then also from a person who has taken on the role as a mentor or a social worker, something like that. Someone that's been in like the helping sort of role. So two different perspectives.
Any volunteers in the audience? Can you stand up and we have a mic coming to you? Or you can have a seat if you're more comfortable that way.
Hi, my name is Beth. My husband happens to be the producer of this movie, just coincidentally, but I'm also a CASA. And I think the problem I have with my child is her perseverance and her willingness to succeed. And I'm wondering from those of you, I guess I'm throwing it back to you guys, what is it that you have in you that really like helps you get out of, the rut and to not, to get out of the foster system, to grow out of it, to age out of it, or to just succeed in it? Because I'm having a hard time with my child. She is not succeeding in the system.
Well, personally for me, I'd say something that really helps me get out the bed in the morning is to honestly believe in yourself and believe that what you can do is true to you. I know something that really worked for me is affirmations and, just helping your youth find something that they like to do that can help them get that fuel to keep going every day, I feel is something that you can bond with your youth, and a way for them to find themselves.
And I really like what you're saying, because I think adding on to that, it's also a lot about the perception of what foster care is. And so for youth growing up in foster care, a lot of it isn't necessarily it's a negative mindset that's also in the community that we get or inherited from the community. And so what's happening is the youth thinks that their experiences, what they're going through isn't necessarily a strong suit or a strength. But I always like to redirect and say, like, hey, like, this is what's gonna make you be successful. Like, so for me, when I went across country, like a lot of my friends wouldn't even dream of leaving home, but I was able to just pick up and leave because I didn't have the same attachments that they had, and also I was used to it, because picking up and having to leave placements in the middle of the night or doing whatever caused me to build that strength to be able to always go with the flow, go with change, and be able to persevere. So just redirecting like how they're thinking about maybe their situations and really having them see a positive outlook of what they're going through.
That is amazing. I love the way you said that. I couldn't have said it as easily, but that's exactly, like, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. Which brings me to, like, leadership. And Angela, you had a question on leadership.
Yes.
Do you want to ask one?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I would like to open it up to the audience of what are different areas in your life, because I think it's important to know that I think there can be this idea of a leader. I know people in my life that are leaders, or I've seen leaders, and maybe you feel like you're naturally one, but maybe you feel like those people are so great, and I don't feel like I'm at that level, and I don't think I'm a leader. But I think there's leadership in various aspects of life, such as artistic leadership or leadership within yourself in different areas. So I would like to open it up to the audience and find out what is something that helped you realize that you could be a leader, or different areas in your life that I think are not the stereotypical what we may think of as leaders, and yeah, I would just like to hear from that so that we can all kind of get different ideas of what different types of leadership are. Thank
We have
you.
a mic coming to you now in transit.
Hi, I'm Lou Lucido. I'm the chair of CASA LA. As chair of CASA LA and as a leader, I think leadership can be defined as being someone who is transformative, someone who can either take a concept or an idea or an ideal and change it into a practical, fungible event to create a change-of-life outcome for the people in need. So specifically with us, in CASA, I would say that when I first got involved, and I was prior to being the chair, instead of sitting around the room and just talking about things, and while we're talking, then the life outcome of those children seemed to just continue to just degrade to get and create something that's transformative where actual events and occurrence occurs to actually be able to intercede and represent those children, and whether it's in placement, whether it's in medical care, whether it's vocational direction, whether it's education, too many instances where children are basically immobilized with drugs to basically keep them inert. We get involved in those situations to change that outcome. I think the thing that we really want to focus on, especially when it comes to foster care, and especially as chair of CASA LA, and Wendy Nichols-Julian has been the best at it, is to have an actual voice relative to policy changes that occur for the foster child, all right? In too many instances, the child is a person that has no particular voice, doesn't have an actual constituency, has very limited in terms of actual economic resources that can actually, be utilized to coalesce a community to generate support. And the thing is, it's the volunteer organizations, whether it's DCFS, whether it's CASA LA, that really need to work together and combine our joint efforts in terms of changing the life outcome of kids. And that's how I would define leadership.
Thank you so much for that. You touched on a lot of things. You touched on voice. You touched on just like resources and accessibility. And I guess my next question is, why is telling your story, your narrative, so important? Like, why is it important that it comes from you? If anybody has an answer for me. Yeah, we always talk about owning our narrative and telling our story. Why is that important?
Hello, everyone. My name is Nomi Rojas. I'm a student here at the recording school. I believe that it's important that you share your own personal narrative because everyone goes through a different journey in life. And of course, everyone is like a fingerprint. It's different, but there's always gems in your journey that will help assist another person in their own journey. So whether it's through art, through music, through anything, I feel as though, especially with youth, to help them understand themselves, because the more you are sure of yourself, you're able to express your journey to other people so they can have more confidence within themselves to go on and persevere and be the best that they could be, because at the end of the day, it starts with you. So. Thank you.
Yeah, that was so, yeah, I like what you said. Hi, I'm Jeanne again, and
Does anybody on the panel have an answer for his question? Oh, for Ken's question, sorry, the original question. Do you guys have a...
The question was about relationship.
Yeah.
And how it can affect people around you.
And inspire people around you.
Have you ever been in a relationship and witnessed the impact it has on you or the people around you?
Of course. I think we have relationships with multiple people, and when you have an interaction with someone else, there's always something you're getting out of it. Either it increases in something good or something, decreases. You become less close to that person. I've experienced it on both ends with positive and negative. I think negative relationships in any form with a parent, with a lover, with a friend can have a huge impact on you and the people around you that know them or not know them, because the people that you are interacting with, that person's changing you. So the negative things that may be happening with you and that person is changing you, and then how you are interacting with other people can be affected, and it can affect the people around you with how they are able to interact or speak with you, because you may be feeling negative that day or having more negative thoughts coming up. But positive relationships, those can be so beautiful. Like if you watch This Is Us and you see such happy and positive relationships and feel so inspired, and you're seeing, wow, I've never had that, or that's what I want. That's how it should be. I think that's so beautiful and so great that we're now putting those into TV and film and seeing more positive relationships, with it be any race or sexual orientation between, to see that. And if you can see it, then why can't you achieve it? Why isn't it possible? It's happening right there, and it's happening for other people. But I think exposing it to people that are in those toxic relationships and haven't seen what a good relationship looks like, they may not even know they're in a toxic relationship. So I think it's super important to not only expose those, but to come out of those toxic relationships.
I love everything about what you just said, which leads me into like relationships. Speaking on relationships, it's just like, what is family? When you like think about relationships, you think of family, friends, but I think everybody defines what a family is different, because all of our families look different. Like, so what is a family to you, Livier? I don't think we've heard from you.
I think it was briefly, actually everything that we had been talking about, indirectly talk about family. For me, family means a lot of the things that Josh was saying earlier, someone that is there for you, motivating you, accept you how you are in the difficult times, and you can always count on them. And I think especially with the population that I work with, seeing them grow and, you know, learning from their mistakes and all the achievements that they have got through their multiple difficulties is, you know, is very empowering, not only for them, but people around them as well. So that's, in my opinion, what family is: someone that is consistent and there for you and accept you for who you are and what you can bring to them.
That's 100% true. I think that what we can take from this discussion is that you kind of get to choose your family, those who support you, those who love you. You always want to love people who love you. We always want to support each other and just be mindful of the good deeds we do. I thank everybody for being a part of this discussion. I'm sure you'll see a lot of things in the film that just resonates with what we discussed here today. And yeah, I'm gonna pass it back to Sean, because that concludes our panel today.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Latrice. I want to put a challenge out there, and anyone who can meet this challenge, we want to get into the Regina's Louise story and this film. One of the reasons we're here today to kind of view this and to think about these themes that we've just heard from, and all these answers and all of this this context that really builds this community that has formed tonight. This is a community we've come together for a great purpose, and so I'm going to put a challenge out there. Anyone who can meet this challenge, the production team has a backpack for you. So the challenge is, can anyone in here name one word that you think resonates what all youth and care have in common? One word that would stand out that says what all youth and care have in common. Oh, I just heard, okay, I'm sorry, the ante, they just raised the ante. It's a backpack and a t-shirt. For anyone who answers this question. So you can shout this out. You don't have to raise your hand. We got to trust. We got to inspire. What else? We got to love. I heard like 5 words together, made a new word. Was it resilience? Nurture. Value. If you haven't said anything, just shout something out, please. It sounds like we have a winner, and that's everyone in the room. So please, after the film, kindly get your backpack and your T-shirt as you leave. Let's get started with this movie on time. And thank you to everyone who's here. Thank you to all of our guests, whether you are here to view the film or you are part of making this film. And thank you particularly for those who have been a part of this creative process to take time out to be here tonight. Let's get rolling.